In this problem, we're going to calculate a confidence interval for a proportion. This question says the data given to the right over here includes data from 47 candies and 10 of them are red. The company that makes the candies claims that 33% of its candies are red. Use the sample data to construct a 90% confidence interval estimate of the percentage of red candies. What do you conclude about the claim of the 33%? So down here we're supposed to construct a 90% confidence interval estimate of the population percentage of candies that are red. So we see all these numbers here for each of the different colors of candies, and they tell us at the top that these are the weight of the candies, but don't be fooled by this presentation. All we care about is how many total candies there were that were red out of the total number of candies. And they already told us that over here. There were 47 total candies and 10 of them are red. So that's really all we need to be able to compute this confidence interval. So we're going to go ahead and open Statcrunch. I'm going to open this data by clicking on the little icon in the top corner and choosing Open in Statcrunch. And to do a confidence interval for a proportion, we're going to go to Stat, Proportion Stats, one sample, because here we had just one sample of data we were given, and we're going to say with summary, because even though we had this raw data of all the weights, we don't actually need that. All we care about is the summarized understanding that there were 10 red candies out of a total of 47. So we're going to choose with summary. So when we choose with summary, they first want to know the number of successes and the number of observations. So what this is will depend a little bit about what you're talking about in the question, but here we're talking about the candies, and specifically we wanted to know how many of them were red. So the number of red candies is the number of successes. We were looking for red candy, so every time we find a red candy, we'll call that a success. So there were 10 total successes or red candies in this problem. The total number of observations is the total number of candies, which again was 47. Again, that was right here, 47 candies, 10 of them are red. The next question asks, do we want to perform a hypothesis test or do we want to do a confidence interval? So for this question, we're trying to find a 90% confidence interval. So we're going to check confidence interval, and here we're going to put in the level, which is 90%. It gets entered as a decimal, so 0.9, and that's all we need to do. So we can go ahead and click compute. And right here where it says L limit and U limit, that means the lower limit and upper limit for the confidence interval. As you can see over here, there's two different values. This is the lower limit, the smallest amount we would expect, and this is the upper limit, the highest amount we would expect. So notice here, these are given as percentages, and these over here are given as decimals. So just in our head, we need to convert these decimal limits to percentages just by moving the decimal point 2 places to the right. So this 0.1145, if we move the decimal point 2 places to the right, would be 11.45%. Over here it says type an integer or decimal rounded to 1 decimal place. So for the lower limit, we would do 11.5 because we would round this 4 up to a 5 based on looking at the 5 that comes after it. So 11.5. And the upper limit was 31. Again, we've moved the decimal in our head 2 places to the right, so 31.09, and if we round that to 1 decimal place, it'd be 31.1. So 31.1.